Yo, what up, what up? Welcome back. Your host, B. Riders, my co-host,
J. Bell.
And this is
Final Thoughts.
Today's topic, femininity versus toxic femininity. Let's check it out.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism is really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
I find that a lot of feminist ideology and thought today feels more of like a supremacist movement rather than something that is supposed to be advancing the goals of equality. I don't think that we can really term what's going on as feminism because it looks so different to, I think, the earlier feminist movement.
I think as a Black woman specifically, when you talk about feminism, the mainstream first thing you think about is a certain type of feminism that tends to exclude still, even today, even with intersectional feminism, exclude African-American women. And it's always kind of done that. And also like, upper middle class white women has predominantly been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism.
This is a tough cat to strangle.
What?
You've ever strangled a cat. I don't know if you ever have or not.
Get out.
This is a hard one. If you've ever strangled a cat, you know how tough it is. But
Right.
it's a tough cat to strangle.
This guy. So we're here now. And I'm pretty sure y'all seen our previous video.
Yeah, right.
So now we're here. And I have a few questions.
I don't believe you.
I do.
Question.
What is it about masculinity that women feel a certain way about? You know what? Don't answer that.
You done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
Answer in the comments. How about
Yeah. Answer in the comments. So, what do you think toxic femininity look like? I just want to know. And that's what I'm asking y'all. But I'm also asking him.
Got it! Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Toxic femininity. What is toxic femininity? Some people would say that there isn't such thing as toxic femininity. Like it's not prevalent enough. It's not strong enough to be toxic, right?
Okay.
I disagree. I think that there is such a thing as toxic femininity.
Like?
I think it shows up when a woman uses homosexuality as a cudgel to bash a straight man. When if he has his hair a certain way or dresses a certain way, that she feels comfortable enough to call him gay, right? In order to diminish his manhood.
But, like, why do they do that? I see it all the time. And I think I seen it when, and I know y'all hate this guy, Kevin Samuels. You're like, oh, queen, he's a queen.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's like, he was just saying certain things
Right.
that triggered women, and it automatically went to, you know what? He's gay.
You're gay! He's gay!
Yeah. And it was used as a way to diminish him, right? Because you didn't like what he was saying, right? I'm okay with you not liking what he's saying. I don't like some of the things he said either, right? But I'm not going to use homosexuality as a weapon against him, especially being someone who is okay with homosexuality. Like, that would fly in the face of my beliefs to be friends with a gay person and then call someone who I don't like gay, right? And to use that as a way to undermine them.
And I've always felt like that was so weird that the women that champion it, like homosexuality, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it either. But y'all are like the biggest champions ever for homosexuality. And then you use it as an insult to men who are not gay.
I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand.
And y'all know they're not gay. Come on. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it to insult them, to make them feel a certain type of way. And I just don't understand how you can do that and be a person that's pro-gay, pro-homosexuality, pro-LGBT. Like, I don't understand how you can do that.
Right. It's true. And y'all, we don't know who y'all are, but you know who you are.
Right.
You know who you are. Like, you know if you're a woman who has a gay friend and you're cool with that, but you know that you can use the concept of being gay against somebody in your neighborhood who isn't. You know that, right? That is a form of toxic femininity. That's what that is.
And what other forms of toxic femininity do you think exist?
Let's go through a freaking list.
Let's just do it. We're here.
Go.
We're here. Hi. We're here.
The toxic femininity of taking your frustrations of your child's father out against the child themselves, right? That's toxic femininity that happens, right? There's the lack of accountability,
Yes.
which is a large part of toxic femininity that I don't think we talk enough about.
Thank you.
Right. Well, let's talk about it now.
Right. Okay. So part of that is, let's say, if a man was to, I don't know, proposition a drunk woman, a woman who's inebriated or not in her right state of mind for sex, we would see that man as a predator. Now flip that scenario. If a drunk man was at a bar and a sober woman propositioned him for sex, right? We would be less likely to see that as predatory, right? And that's kind of a strike against our entire society, that we don't see that way. The toxic feminine part about it is the women who live in this medium, who try to stay in this kind of mindset and try to get away from the responsibility within our society that way, who use their femininity to escape responsibility. I think that is probably the biggest form of toxic femininity in our society right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the smaller forms of it resides on social media, right? Social media is huge. It's huge.
I always call it massive. Sometimes they say huge.
Depending on like how you hear that. But it matters, right? You know, it's a thing that we all connect on, we all engage in, and it matters. And when I see women engaging in conversations with each other, like when a woman chooses to, I wouldn't even say agree with a man, but they call her a pick me, and you know that
pick me's.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
You a weirdo.
For me as a man, it's a bit weird when I see that happens, and why can't she have a difference of opinion? Like, y'all are always the purveyors of having a different opinion because you've been under patriarchy so long, right? You want an opinion. But when you see other women have an opinion, you denigrate their
Hard.
yeah
Hard.
I'm hard.
Right.
their opinions. And it's like, why do y'all do that to each other? I will never understand that.
Right. It is interesting in that, because there could be a woman who legitimately believes that, right, I'm married to this man and he is the leader, he's the captain of this ship.
Yes.
I'm gonna follow where he leads. And
That's probably the woman I'm gonna marry.
Message.
he may be a good fucking leader. Here's the thing. He may be a good leader.
Me.
You play too much.
But that isn't taken into account. J Bell isn't taken into account in this, right? It's all about the woman and her willingness to follow someone else,
Yes.
right? That's part of the toxicity of it as well. The willingness to denigrate women who are traditional at heart. There are some women who want a man to be a masculine man in the traditional sense.
Yeah. And y'all have to define what a traditional man or masculinity looks like to you.
Right. That has to come from what y'all think. You know, we can't define it for you. You know, we
Right.
have, if a woman likes me, I'm not sure why she does. I just know that she does. You know,
Right.
and so I'm gonna be the man that I am until otherwise. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm not adverse to following a different pathway. Like if my woman tells me that, hey, I'm doing a certain thing, I don't like it when you do that, I may feel a certain way about it. But at the end of the day, if that's my girl, that's my woman, you know, I'm going to try to make her happy. If I need to stop cutting the grass because she likes to cut it, and that's what brings her happiness,
Yeah.
I need to put my pride to the side and let my woman cut the grass. Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I would have no pride. I'm not a Vegeta.
Mock my pride.
You know, and I love Vegeta. That's my favorite character. But it's not like I'm gonna be like, yo, no, don't do that
Yeah.
because I'm the man and I got no.
Right.
You like to cut the grass? Have at it.
Do you, boo boo?
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Long as I'm loving you and appreciating you for who you are, the person that you are. I said person, not woman, not man, not this or that. I said the person that you are. If I'm able to do that and you can do it back, I think we'll be good.
That boy is good.
I think so too. So what are we talked about femininity
Yes.
and what that is.
Yeah.
What do you think are some toxic elements of femininity?
Okay, so I think some toxic elements of femininity is to miscalculate or misdefine masculinity. Right? So I think that they base their femininity off of masculinity. That's just my belief or opinion. You don't have to crucify me online.
Preach, preacher.
Hallelujah.
But so it's supposed to be a one coin, but two opposite sides, right? But we're still a unit. I'm supposed to do this, and I'm considered masculine. But you're supposed to do this, and you're considered feminine. What I consider feminine, and I think that's what what people who are watching want to know. I think a woman is soft, and she's more emotional, and she's allowed to be more emotional without judgment. She's a nurturer. So if we have kids, she's literally the person that the kid could sip on a titty. You know, it might sound funny, but I can't provide that. I don't have the reproductive organs to do so. That, to me, is a feminine activity. That I'm watching my child get nourishment from my wife, from her titty. And people might say whatever they want to. Cool. That's a feminine activity to me. A woman having a period is a feminine activity. A woman being pregnant is a feminine activity to me. And I respect that as a man. I will never experience any of the things that I told you about. I will never. And I will stay in my place as a man and respect that this woman goes through a different struggle than I do. But I still go through struggles. But she'll understand that I go through different struggles than she does.
True that. I think we all just kind of want to be understood. And
Thank you.
In that aspect.
That's
what it comes down to.
Yes.
Masculinity and femininity aren't so far away from each other, I think, as we think they are. One of the aspects I think talked about was like masculinity and femininity existing within a person, right? And I can agree with that. There's some elements of masculinity that exist within a woman and elements of femininity that exist within a man, right?
Supposed to be.
Right. I don't think you would be human otherwise. You know? None of these things are mutually exclusive to one sex. You know? It's just how we view these things. My thing with femininity sometimes, or with the way some women view masculinity, is kind of narrow-minded to me, right? So you view that masculinity as a certain type of way, and you judge accordingly, right? Now, the thing is, on the other foot, men kind of do the same thing. You know, we see a woman leader and we say that's not feminine because she's a leader.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a feminine thing to do, to go to work and be working a construction job, you know, keeping up with the guys and shit. It's not a very feminine thing to do. And I think that's kind of where the problems arise, is in that, especially right now where we're trying to bridge this gap of femininity mixing with masculinity right now.
Yeah.
Because women can do a lot of the things that men can do and vice versa. But are we okay with that? Becomes a question, right? Are you going to judge the person who is a woman doing something that is predominantly a masculine thing? And are you going to judge the person who is a man doing the predominantly feminine thing? I think is where we are right now. Yeah.
Think about it.
I'm not sure how to even go about bridging this divide is the thing. I think. Yeah. It's a difficult task right now. You got me on that one.
Gotcha, bitch.
You got me.
Us.
Shit.
Got us on it.
But at least we're talking about it. I think that's probably the first step.
Yeah.
Is
Conversation.
Having
discourse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Having a discussion about it. But do you have any final thoughts about this?
My only final thoughts is shout outs to my boy Lucian Arsenault. Number 4 is coming. You know what I'm saying? Number 4 is coming. And I'm happy about it. I'm proud of you, bro. And I want to be a part of his life. And you're gonna be the best dad ever. Real shit. Real shit.
Yes, sir. Final thoughts about this topic is, well, it's a hard bridge to get. Let's have more of the conversation. You know, I don't think we should be afraid of the conversation. We got to talk about the flaws within masculinity. I think that's the easy part.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to talk about the things that masculinity does wrong. There's a myriad of them, right? We can't be afraid to talk about the things that femininity does wrong. We can't be afraid of the masculinity within a woman, just as the same way we can't be afraid of the femininity within a man. Because a man talking about his feelings is a feminine aspect. But we all know that it's a healthy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
A woman leading a group, maybe being a CEO, knowing what she wants is a masculine thing. But we can't be afraid of a woman who knows what she wants. Some of us want a woman who knows what she wants. That's okay. So let's not shy away from that and pretend like it's this brand new thing, right? It's not that new. It's kind of new, but it's not that new, right? So let's just be a little more reasonable about that, I think, anyway.
Cool.
But that's our final thoughts on that. Thank y'all for listening to our ramblings once again. Yeah. I'm your host, B. Ryder, co-host
J. Bell.
and this has been
Final thoughts.